Welcome back to Gardening for Babies. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about what to do while you're waiting for the snow to melt in April. Okay, there are a few things that you should be doing with your time. The first is to transplant your seedlings, which have probably outgrown their egg carton containers. We're back down here in our scary, scary basement because that's where we keep our dirt and the bodies. Just kidding, it's way too obvious a place to hide the bodies. We are going to mostly be reusing old containers from the nursery. Now, some people will tell you you need to wash them out and decontaminate them, and that's really good advice, but I'm lazy, so I don't do it. I mostly grow the same things in them every year, which is tomatoes and peppers. We also have some leftover containers. If you don't have those, you can use recyclable plastics and other materials. So here's an old salsa cup, and we put jalapenos on that because jalapenos are the only two of our peppers that sprouted, so our seeds weren't very good. There are usually a handful of reasons if your seeds don't sprout, why they wouldn't sprout. The first of which is that your seeds are old. The second is that your seeds are cheap, just like me. And the third of which is that they might have gotten moisture in the package or something like that, and it didn't germinate well. It could be your fault. It could be the fault of the manufacturer. It could just be a host of other factors. One of the lovely things about gardening is that even if it is your fault and you did something wrong, who cares? You can't screw it up. It's your garden. What, are you being judged on this? Anyway, you can put the seeds in some of these. You don't want to use like a glass container or a container that's hard because you're going to want to be able to like do this to break up the compaction of the soil and get the plants out instead of having to dig them out. So like a jar with a narrow mouth won't work very well, or a jar that you can't squeeze. The other one that we brought down is this aluminum one, which we labeled for our marigolds because it's about the right size. And again, that's a container I can bend and I can scoop out of pretty easily. Ready? We've already transplanted this beefsteak tomato, and all I did was rip the egg carton because it's pretty moist. Somebody asked me, oh, do you want to hold it? Just be nice to it, like a kitty. No squishing, no pulling. Somebody asked me if you need to like score the bottom of the egg carton, and as you can see, they're kept so damp that they've already begun to break down and the roots have already grown through this. So I'm just going to pull these apart like this. There we go. And then I'll pull this part apart. Woohoo! Oh, tickle your face. And then we just take our container like that. And one of the other reasons I'm not taking it out of here is because if I keep it in here, I'm fairly confident this entire egg carton will break down. And I don't want to disturb the roots and pull them out. So if I can just leave them in there intact, so much the better. I'll sidle that down in. You can see it. Hard time staying on camera sometimes. Oh, nice tomato plant. Something cool. The original casing for the seed is actually still on the first leaves of the plant. I don't know if you can see it right here. Right there, bing, bing. Anyway, here's our beefsteak tomato plant, ready to grow more. The second is to catch up on some reading with a delicious book about vegetables or two. Vegetables in underwear. I wear underwear. You wear underwear. We all wear underwear. By the way, when the sun comes out and it starts to get warm, you're going to want to get to weeding right away so the weeds don't get away from you. In the meanwhile, enjoy your little plants and your delicious books. it. As always these days, to wash your hands. Good girl, Mimi. I'm the best gardener in the world. Hooray, hooray!